rock and roll.
Oh, my video's gone thingy. There we go. We're back. No. Whoa. What's going on? Yes, guys, we are back. How is everyone doing? Hope you're all doing well. Guys, it's the 2nd of August. You know what that means? Yes, it's my birthday. And yes, Liverpool lost. It's a great day. Big up, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I don't know what's the matter with my video. It'll sort itself out in a minute. Make sure you go and hit the like. Make sure you go and hit the subscribe, all that good stuff. And don't forget to go and subscribe to the guys' channels that are on the panel today. A few people in the chat. There. I see Frank, my man. So, guys, make sure you go and subscribe to Frank's channel over on there. Frank Carlisle. Go and subscribe to his channel. I'll be actually on his channel tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on his. We're going to talk loads of Liverpool stuff, I assume. So, if you want to go and see that, make sure you go and subscribe to Frank's channel. The link is in the chat. Go and subscribe to Frank's channel. Get his subs up. Let's get him to 200 subs, guys. Yeah,
come on, guys.
I think he's on 136 right now. Let's try and get him up to 200. Let's try and get him up to 200 right now. Let's go for it. Thank you very much for all the birthday shout outs. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. 42 years of age today. Feeling good. Even with 3 kids. But guys, we have got a lot to talk about. Don't forget to go and subscribe to Baz. Don't forget to subscribe to K-Max channels as well. Go and support them on their road to where they want. Well, I don't even know what you guys are on at the moment. What are you on, K-Mac?
I don't know. I ate 100 about a week ago, I think.
There you go. So, 200 for K-Mac. Get a couple of 100 up for Baz as well. Let's keep going, guys. Let's subscribe to all the guys in the Liverpool community. But big up to everyone. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. I do appreciate it. Firstly, what we got to say, I believe there's a fake David Ornstein going around saying that Liverpool are trying to buy Casado. It's hilarious. People are falling for it. Guys, it ain't happening. We're struggling to buy Lavia. We're not going to go and buy Casado for 80 million. Apparently, Chelsea just turned down a third bid for 80 million as well. They want 100 million pounds. So Casado's staying at Brighton next season. You heard it here first. Obviously, we'll get onto the Lavia stuff as well because that looks like it could finally look like it might be happening. But let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game we watched today. Liverpool versus Bayern Munich. Our first real test this pre-season, I would say. Mixed bag again, really, isn't it? Mixed bag again, Baz. The attack's great. The defence is shit. And the midfield don't know what it's doing yet.
Yeah. First big test, like you said. But same old problems, really. Look, this inverted thing for me was just a push along the line to finish as high as we can, and if you're going to play that inverted thing, you've got to look at better quality at the back. And I'm not disrespecting the players, but we do need another centre back. Or if you're not going to play, that way, and you're going to play your 4-3-3, then what you need to do is just basically decide. You put Trent in midfield, keep him in midfield, and go and get a right back. Problem solved. And you gain a midfielder in that, and you can always also use Trent as a right back if you do need him. But yeah, I mean, look, it's pre-season. It's our biggest test. We've had a good run out now. Players are starting to click. Hopefully the injury with McAllister isn't too serious. I know people are saying it's not too serious now, but it's just those hand in the heart moments, isn't it, really? Because we've only brought 2 players in and we're relying heavily on them. So yeah, just hopefully we get through it all. And if we can add some players, because we do need 2 more, at least minimum for me, then, things may look a little bit better. I don't like seeing Curtis Jones in the DM. I think it's basically, this Jurgen Klopp thing with, and I know I'm not going to try to go too much on Jurgen Klopp, but this thing with having him as a defensive midfielder, it's not his game. His game is more forward thinking. Need to be playing him in the right positions And yeah, but on the positive, you know what I mean? We played well. We played well. Just like I said, the defense was a bit poor today. Wasn't too organized. The forwards were okay. Nunez did miss a few chances again, but I'm not going to get too much on him. But yeah, certainly it was our biggest challenge, and I wish we could have played a little bit, a couple of more games with bigger opponents or along them kind of standards and get ourselves tested. But looking at that, it looks like we played a big team, and if they didn't finish their chances, if they took their chances better, like Pavard and stuff like that, it could have been a different game. But it is like what you just said, same old.
Yeah, same old, same old. I mean, we'll get to some of the players' individual performances in a bit, but came out, what was your overall thought of the game? Bayern Munich, first of all. Look, Bayern Munich, their credit as well. They put out pretty much their strongest lineup as well. So it was a proper game. What was your thoughts, K-Mac?
I'm trying not to shout too much, okay? I'll try and keep my voice down a bit. As Baz said, it's just same shit, different day. It really is. I have no idea what we've been doing in pre-season because it's got nothing to do with defense. It's abysmal. That transition is the first thing you should have looked at the end of the season. Jesus Christ, we cannot pass the ball from one player to the other and then get it to midfield without there being some kind of panic, some kind of misplaced pass, some kind of chance that gets created off the back of us. Every team that plays us, we basically give them a clear-cut opportunity in the first 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 15 minutes. It was the same as last season when we conceded first all the time. We concede first all the time because we keep on arsing around at the back trying to play it to each other, and we can't do it. Konate is not the guy that you can play like that with. He just isn't. You got rambling Robbo who just runs out of position all the time, and then you got Trent who's just doing his own thing. He's just doing his own thing again. He just goes missing. It's nuts. You can't let these players have freedom like that and expect not to be beaten by teams. It's a blueprint now. It is a blueprint unless it gets sorted out. And it's just not. I'm sorry. It just is not going to get sorted out by this manager.
Yeah, I agree. Look, so the team lineup, Liverpool put out quite a nice, strong team.
That front three was brilliant. That's the front three I love. Yeah,
we're going to get that. Alisson in goal, Trent, Matip, Virgil, Robbo. Then the midfield. Obviously Curtis Jones has to play the 6 at the moment, and then you got McAllister, Szoboszlai. Then you got Salah, Gakpo, and Jota. Baz. Apart from maybe Matip for Konate, would you say that's the team that I'll start against Chelsea?
Yeah, I think so, Jamie. I'm hopeful Liverpool can do some kind of business in and get a DM in, because for me that was the only one that I'm not sure, and we don't have any players, for me anyway, that can play in that role. But yeah, that's definitely the starting lineup. Besides, like you said, Matip. It's a strong form. It was a strong team. It was a very strong team. So yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're gonna use.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's before we get to the defensive part of this game, because we know that's a shambles. Let's talk about the good thing about our football club at the moment, and that's our forward line. Our forward line is unbelievable. Mo Salah is now the complete forward now. He can drift wide, he can cut inside, he can pass, he holds up play, he can score goals. He's almost the complete forward now, Mo Salah. He's grown into it so well. Then you got Jota, who last year I thought, should we let Jota go because of the injuries? And then you prove so wrong, and it's he's so good. He's so good. And then you got Cody Gakpo, who I'm falling in love with more and more. I watch this guy. This kid, Cody Gakpo, is so special.
10 out of 10.
So he's going to be a tremendous footballer. I personally think it's Liverpool's best front three. It has the most chemistry. It interacts the best with one another and the midfield. It can go from, like, there was times in that first half where Salah went central and Jota went off the right and Gakpo went off the left, and then they all changed again and interchanged beautifully. They have good chemistry, all three of them, especially Gakpo and Jota. I mean, look at that first goal. Gakpo coming deep, passing it to Jota, and then Jota just releasing him for the first goal. It is beautiful football. That, for me, is Liverpool's best front three, and the chemistry between them is excellent. And it came back. And look, we've been talking about Gakpo for a few videos now because we know how great this geezer is. But Jota's the one. I used to think, if Jota don't score, what does he do in a game? I think that's gone now. I really do. I think he's improved his all-round game so much, and I think we've forgotten how much of actually a really good player Diogo Jota is. Personally, K-Mac.
Yeah, I got to eat a bit of humble pie on that as well, because I was when he got injured and came back, I thought, maybe he's not good enough for us anymore. But I'm eating humble pie on that one. The thing about Jota is he just fits the system. Like, he just does. Like, he's brilliant at pressing. He knows exactly when to make runs. He knows he's really good at passing as well. I think people don't see how good he is at passing the ball as well. And it's not like long passes or anything. It's those short passes and those little touches that he plays. Like, look at some of those touches that he's done where he set the ball up for Gakpo. He's done that a couple of times in pre-season already. The attack is never the issue. Like, it hasn't been the issue for years. But I really do want to see these three cook. Like, I think they could be really special. And I do like the fact that Salah is roaming now. Like, he was kind of playing the linesman pretty much the most of last season. And now the fact that he's kind of floating and he's moving infield more, I think that'll help him get more goals as well. And it'll also help our team, because the opposition won't know what's coming. Like, who's going left, who's going right, like what are these guys doing? Like, today, Salah was in the centre for quite a few plays, so that's obviously something they've worked on. But the scoring is not the issue, is it? We've conceded 10 goals in 4 games. That's kind of the issue. But yeah, it's a positive having that chemistry with those players. Gakpo's a starter for me.
Oh yeah, I think it's Baz. I think it's becoming very, very difficult at the moment if you're Jurgen Klopp to not have Gakpo in his starting 11. Surely.
Yeah, no, definitely. Gakpo. Look, Gakpo is just brilliant, man. Some people say that he's coming to replace Nunez. Not Nunez, sorry, Firmino. Some people said that he's going to give Diaz a run for his money on the left. But this guy's come in and played a Firmino role and done exceptionally well. He's a different player, but he can play that Firmino role, and he can actually do his own thing. And week by week, he gets better and better. And at the price that we spent for him as well, it's an absolute steal again. And I can see him being that guy. With Jota, I think we'll see better of Jota this year. We've got plenty of forwards up front. It'd be nice to give him that rest as well once in a while as well, because we don't rely too much, because we've got a strong forward. So that will help him with his injuries, because that's the one thing that people are concerned about with Jota, his injuries. He's had injuries since he's been at Liverpool, and the way we play. So what I think, having Jota, Jota and a well-rested Jota means that he comes in and he bags. Look at last season's example of what the player is. He had issues scoring goals, and then bam, 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 left foot, right foot, header, penalties. This guy for me is the best finisher at our club. Obviously, Salah gets the numbers, but this guy is the most natural finisher, and we've just got to take care of him. But if he doesn't play, like you said, we've got Gakpo, we've got Salah that's a stayer. Diaz as well. Diaz needs to improve as well, little, but he took his goal brilliantly well. Yeah, I mean we're blessed. We're blessed in the forward lines, and in terms of the attacking side of things, I'm so looking forward to next season, see what we conjure up.
No, look, it's Cody Gakpo, Darwin Nunez in a way, Salah and Jota. I think when they play, they have quite good chemistry. I don't think Diaz has good chemistry with anyone yet. And I'm not, this is not me, because Diaz scored a great goal today. And Diaz is very capable of amazing individual moments. That's what Luis Diaz is very, very capable of. So no one get at me about the Luis Diaz stuff. I'm saying he's very good at individual moments, like that goal today. First class, the way he did it, the way he took it. No doubt about it. But when I watch him play with all the other strikers, with the other front, anyone else in that front three, I don't get the same kind of connection and chemistry. Even when Darwin plays with Mo, I see chemistry there. Gakpo plays with Jota, I see chemistry there. Darwin could play left and Gakpo in the middle, I see a bit more chemistry there. I don't see that chemistry with Luis Diaz at the moment. Individual brilliance, no doubt, but I don't see that connection. Maybe it's just me, K-Mac, I'm not sure, but that's just how I see things sometimes.
It's definitely not you. You should have heard me. You should have heard me talk about Diaz on the show earlier. Me and Baz has a disagreement on it. Can I just say something as well? And it'd be good to get the view of the chat. So I actually think having Darwin Nunez and Diaz is going to be a problem for us this season, because I think they're going to be played when they shouldn't be played, and the other players are going to suffer for it, and we're going to suffer for it. And you have to hear me out on this, because if you think about it, we needed midfielders, like incredibly. We needed midfielders. Like, we had a shocking season last season because we didn't have midfielders, and we probably didn't win the quad because we didn't have enough midfielders, if I'm honest. Now we've spent about 130 million on 2 players that are going to be on the bench next season. Let's just get that into perspective. We spent 130 million on 2 players that are going to be on the bench. Like, I think they're going to be a problem next season. And all this rotation stuff, yeah, it's great. But you know what Klopp's like? He's going to play players all the time, whether they're in form or not. Like, he did it last year. He played players when they weren't in form. And I feel like it will be hard to move players. And I just feel like Jota's going to be the guy again. Like, Jota's always the guy that gets pushed out, even if he doesn't play, even if he plays well. Like, even when he had that incredible season, when he scored like 13 or 14 goals in a Premier League, he was still a sub for a lot of them. And I think that Jota should be starting all the time with Gakpo. Like, I just do. But you've got an £85 million player and you've got a £47 million player. And it's going to be a case of, I've got to play these.
No, I get you, man.
It's just an interesting scenario when we're so light in other places. Like,
yeah, that's I agree, and agree what people were saying in the chat as well about the injuries as well. And like Ernie says, yeah, and this is something I won't take away from Diaz either, that it was a lovely finish today. Individual brilliance is what Diaz is good. I think someone said it in the chat, I can't remember who it was, but Diaz is more of a lone wolf and not part of a pack. And
I called him a maverick today.
Yeah, he's like a lone wolf and everyone else is part of a pack. And Diaz is sort of that. And I think Mark says it. Yeah, I think Mark said it. Him and Darwin seem more like impact players, where Gakpo, Jota, and Salah look like they're the first choice players. If that makes, do you reckon, Baz?
Yeah, it's an option. Definitely having him as an impact sub, but just got to bear in mind as well, he hasn't been at Liverpool for that long. It's come in. He gave us a big pickup, obviously, when we had had Mane in AFCON and Salah and that. Then he kept obviously set Mane on centrally, and then he kept that position. But he's also had his injuries as well. He's had his injury, so we got to look at that as well. I mean, look, his end product, people can question it. It's up there to the debate for sure, but he's doing a little bit more with his end product at the moment. Maybe not as best as as some other players, but you know what? I think he's working slowly. Not maybe people might think, well, he's taking long about it, but I think with Diaz, something happens. With Salah, on the right, we've got that for sure. Diaz is not going to be a full starter for me, like Salah is, but things do happen with him. He can get fouls in the edge of the box, and he just needs to improve a little bit more. And I think in terms of system, he's not a system guy, but I mean, me and K-Matt we're having a back and forth with about it, and big up to you, bro. But I think he does work hard for the team. He is a hard worker. He just needs to be a bit more disciplined, isn't it, really? I think, keep the ball better, And if you're going to do your things, just be sure. But, he's got a lot of talent. And I think even if we do, have him on the bench, we bought him for 40 odd million or something like that, whatever it was. It wasn't a big, huge fee. So certainly he can definitely cause damage from the bench as well. But like I said, just bear in mind, he has had injuries and stuff like that, and he needs to get rearing in it. He needs to play games to improve and stuff like that. And I think you'll see it. He's not a bad player, is he?
No,
he's our seventh biggest signing, by the way. Money wise.
Keep that for your show. I like Diaz. I think Diaz is a fantastic footballer. I really do think Diaz is a fantastic footballer. I'm not going to go against Diaz's athletic ability, his technical ability, or anything like that. I think he's a tremendous player. My whole thing is, when I watch the other forwards play together, they all seem to have that wolf pack mentality and sort of like chemistry together, where Diaz just looks like the odd one out at times. Some people in the chat might agree, some people might not, but he just looks like sometimes he's doing his own thing. He's like a bit of a loner. He's doing his own thing, but what he does can be special. And then what the other forwards are doing, they're working more together with better chemistry and stuff like that. That's what I feel from Diaz, because I rate the bloke. I'm so glad we got him, but I'm just wondering if we can fit him into getting more chemistry. Like maybe he's got to play more, because what might have hampered him down for Diaz is the amount of injuries he's had since he's been at Liverpool. He came in January, few months, helped us win helped us finish off that season really well. And then start the next season, he basically missed 7 months of it, didn't he? So injuries beside isn't going to help, no doubt about that. But I think everyone in chat knows what I'm sort of mean. I'm not dissing him. I think he's a great player, but it's just that chemistry difference when the others are playing and he's not.
Can I just throw this out there just to see everyone explode?
Yeah, Cow in the chat.
Would you take 60 million for Diaz and then just play Doak more?
We're going to talk about Doak in a bit. I wouldn't take 60 million for Diaz, because the way the transfer market is, and Diaz's technical and athletic ability, I'm looking for 100 million easy.
You're never going to get that, are you?
If Anthony can be 100 million, then I'm looking for that for Diaz, to be perfectly fair. But Diaz is the one. I'm going to say it now. I think if anyone leaves our forward line in the next 12 to 18 months, I think it is Diaz. Out of everybody, I really do. Big up, Cal. Thank you very much for being here, my friend. Big up to you, my man. Guys, go and make sure you go and subscribe to the Sanderson Show. If you like your UFC and boxing, Cal and Luke do a load of MMA, UFC pay-per-views over there. We was on there this weekend. I joined in. It was a great show. So yeah, make sure you go and subscribe to the Sanderson Show, guys. Get them up to 2K on there, and obviously go and subscribe to Coppish as well while you're at it, if you've not done that already. Yeah, That's all. That's all I was thinking about from a Diaz point of view. Gakpo, we can always talk about Gakpo. We're speaking about it so much. He's intelligent play. He's the way he keeps hold of the ball, the way he works with his back to goal. His work rate off the ball is so underrated. What he does off the ball, and then he's a finisher. His finishing's getting better. You know, he's getting cold. He never looked for Salah once when he scored today. He never got his head up once. He just went, I'm just scoring. I'm the man now. I'm it. That's what I saw today. That was a man playing against Bayern Munich, a good Bayern Munich team, going, no, you know what? I am the man, and I'm taking this on. Is that what you saw, Baz? Because that's what I saw, personally.
Look, this guy is a brilliant guy. Yeah, honestly, you know, he's just come in, like I said earlier. He just come in, just claim the spot, really. You know, when you look at how Nunez has come in, obviously I appreciate Nunez has taken time to settle and whatnot, but this guy's just come in and just said, right, you know what? I'll play for the team. I'm not saying Nunez doesn't, but I'll play for the team. I'm going to also add my bits and my strengths. You know, the guy's got a good, you know, turn and forward. He's strong. He's big. You know, he's got the talent. And you could see last season, you know, there were certain little things that just didn't go, you know, he was just missing, but he's just putting them in now. You know what I mean? Like the opportunities. When you look at him against Manchester United last year, you could see what this guy was about. And I think, you know what I mean? It's like he's just going on for strength. And at the price we paid for him, this is definitely an absolute bargain. And the great thing about him as well is he can play anywhere. You know what I mean? He could play where he is now. He could play on the left. Could even put him on the right if he wanted to. So we've got so many, you know, options with Cody. And, you know, I'm loving it, man.
Yeah, like Cal says here, I think Diaz and Salah should start. Then it's down to preference between Jota and Gakpo. Oh, so yeah, I'm not. I know Cal's not free at the moment; he's with family. But I would love Cal to come on and debate this. But
there's no debate. I think he's right.
I like my thing with Diaz. It's just that chemistry factor. I don't get that feeling when I watch Diaz compared to when I watch Gakpo, Jota, and Salah. If that makes sense. But I think Diaz is a wonderful footballer.
I feel like Diaz is too far up the pitch.
Does Diaz just need their minutes in his legs, though? Because he did have 7 months worth of injuries. If he didn't have them injuries, would his chemistry with the team be better? Probably. So I might be talking nonsense here. I don't know, but it's just what I watch, and I think we're lucky with the forwards we got. I think everyone's got a preference. I bet I'll ask the chat right now. Give everyone in the chat right now. Give me your favourite front three Liverpool have right now out of the 5 players we got. Everyone in the chat, give me your favourite front three right now. I'd like to see if there's many differences or if it's a lot of the same answers. Because it's just, I think we're blessed there. And I don't think there's any wrong answers, to be fair. Whatever three anyone goes for, I really don't think there's any wrong answers. And I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. And the problem is, it's what's happening in transition. That's the problem with Liverpool Football Club at this moment in time. Now, today, McAllister and Szoboszlai played in a 4-3-3. Look, we played 4-3-3 today. There was old school 4-3-3. I don't think, unless we get a DM in and it might change it, I don't know how well McAllister and Szoboszlai play well with each other in that setup in a 4-3-3. I think Szoboszlai and McAllister are too deep today. And I think the commentators in Liverpool TV actually made mention of that McAllister was a lot deeper and doesn't look as comfortable than he does when he's a bit further up the field doing what we have seen him be doing. So I don't know how you feel about that, K-Mac.
The amazing thing about today is I was listening to the LFC TV commentators, and they were talking facts. Like they were saying it how you could see it on the pitch, and they didn't hold back in some circumstances. I can't for the life of me work out where these players that we've signed are getting played, because they're not being played in their natural positions.
Mm.
And this is a common theme with Klopp. Like, he signs players and then just chucks them somewhere else where they've never played before.
Mm.
Like, pre-season, Curtis Jones is now playing DM. Like, are you having a laugh? Like, he's not a DM. Then you've got Alexis McAllister, who's playing on the left-hand side of kind of like an attacking midfield. Sorry, on the right-hand side of attacking midfield for most of the pre-season, which isn't his natural position. It's the left and a bit lower down. And then you've got Dominic Szoboszlai, who's kind of playing like a box-to-box, no creativity, which is not his game, where he should be on the right and right up, like up where the strikers are, like as in pushing into the attacking third, because that's his natural position.
Mm.
And you've got basically Dominic Szoboszlai just doing a Gini Wijnaldum role today, just running up and down, tackling players, not having any scope, any creativity, not being able to get involved in any of the play. You've got McAllister just all over the place, like just basically just tracking. And I won't talk about the others, but like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Like, what are you doing in pre-season? Like, why aren't you gelling these players into positions that they should be, where one of them should be on the left and one of them should be on the right, and they should be gelling with each other, instead of one's here, one's there, one's there, one's there, and then it just looks a bit of a mess. Like, and there doesn't seem to be much cohesion between the midfield because of this scenario. The attackers, great, but we already knew they were. It's the defence and the midfield that you need to be doing your work on. And like I said right at the very start, same shit, different day.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. Big Jake, is it Jota, Darwin, Salah, Gakpo is the 8. I've seen now. Me and Cal, if Cal's still in the chat, me and Cal spoke about Gakpo playing in midfield for a while now, and I've got a feeling it might happen a lot of the time next season, because it all depends if what transfers we get in. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that 4 in a game sometime next season, depending who we're playing against. But what I say, a lot of people in the chat, their front three is mostly Jota, Gakpo, and Mo Salah. I mean, I can understand what
that cooks.
I think at this moment in time, Diaz and Darwin are better impact players coming off the bench right now than Jota. Like, if I'm a team and I've got Jota, Gakpo, and Salah pulling a defensive battle all over the place with their good first touches, they're great back to goal, pulling the defence all over the place, nice little interchange in the passing, keep the defenders turning. And I'm doing that for about 70 minutes. And then I've got on the bench pace and skill, in Darwin, just raw pace and energy, and then skill, pace, and technical ability in Luis Diaz. That's great options. And that's what a squad needs. That's what we want as a football team, is options like that. And in the forward line, we've got it. The rest of the team that we're going to talk about in a minute. Different.
Have you read that chat by Realism, Jared?
Oh, hang on. Big up, Ends. How you doing, man? Ends, much appreciated, my friend. You know you don't have to super chat, Ends. Big up to you. Ends, go peep it off. Big up, Jamie. Happy birthday. P.S. Some of the madmen watching the game with blindfolds on, no football knowledge at all. Same agendas as always. Big up, Ends. Ends. Yeah, Ends is fishing.
I just want to say, I think, look, we do need to rotate as well, for sure, because obviously with what I said I do want Jota starting, because I think, like I said, he's the best finisher for me, natural finisher anyway. But Nunez does need to get those games. It's important, because this is a season that he needs to bang. Yes, we saw a few gilt-edged chances that he had missed in this game, but he's generally had a good pre-season. And depending on the game that we're playing, we might need a bit of physicality up front as well, which he can definitely do. So I think we need to be careful with Nunez, because he's a player you can see that he's still very young, and he does need that. He needs that confidence, and if he's got no confidence, he doesn't come off the bench, with with anything. He might just come and cause some chaos, but you know, the chaos is not what we need. We need goals with it as well. You know, we don't want him to fade. That's another thing. So this guy does need the opportunity as well. I think, you know, personally, I think he should be a backup to Jota, because Jota for me is the better finisher at this moment. But you know, if Nunez comes in and just like bangs and stuff like that, then we'll have to give him the priority as well. I don't believe we should just have a set one.
No, I agree. Big up, Drew. I ain't seen you in a while, my man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Drew, look, to be fair to Drew, every time his calling show he comes in, he hammers that point home all the time. So big up to Drew. Hope you're doing good, my man. Big up Ravi as well. It's apparently his birthday today as well. Big up Ravi. Happy birthday to you.
Come on, Ravi. Big up, man.
Legends are born on this day, Ravi. That's what they say. Legends are born on this day. Happy birthday to you, my friend. Cal says Nunez has been excellent this preseason, but he's a Origi's to replace him at the moment, and that's not meant as a disrespectful statement. I agree. He is that. He's an impact player. He's an impact player at the moment, and is that going to harm him long term? I don't know. I mean, if Liverpool had a fully,
because we never spent the money on something else.
If Liverpool had a fully fit team last season, I don't know if he would have played as much as he did that season. I think it was meant to be like a slow, build up into the side and, eventually get him there coaching wise and all that. So Darwin's going to get, I'm not going to put any number on what Darwin should score next season, because Darwin's going to get double figures as far as I'm concerned. If he scores double figures next season, then I'm perfectly happy with that. Gakpo, double figures. Salah, double figures. Jota, double figures. Diaz, if you don't get double figures, that's fine, because I don't think he's that kind of forward anyway. He's more of the creative forward, so that's cool. But he's got to get assists from me. So I'm cool with that. The forward line is cool. I love the forward line. The midfield is pants. And it's rotten pants. It's that kind of pants where you go, these ain't even washable anymore. That's how bad it is. They've just got to go in the bin. My worry is, I've spoken to people about this before, that a lot of people are worried that, I think I've had Drew in calling shows and Gangan Deep in calling shows. Big up to you guys. I believe they come in calling shows before and said, and G as well. Big up to G. And Jerry, I think he might have said this, that they're all worried that Klopp might take the good stuff that McAllister and Szoboszlai are really good at and turn them into more of a workman-like midfielders. In that they got great technical ability, which is fantastic. And if we can have them as working midfielders with that technical ability, it's better than what we had. And I can understand people's worry about that. And I was always like, no, he's not going to do that. He's going to buy McAllister and play McAllister like he plays at Brighton and Argentina. That attacking kind of midfielder, creative type. And Szoboszlai, you've got to let Szoboszlai be Szoboszlai. Let him be, go, let Szoboszlai be the player you went and bought and just recreate that for Liverpool.
That's a problem.
And I saw people today on Twitter talking about that. McAllister was really deep. Szoboszlai, as came back saying, was playing box to box. There was some points he was covering Trent at right back. And that I saw twice, I think he got back in the Trent's position, didn't he, when Trent was up the field? Yeah. And that's not what I want from them kind of players. Because we didn't play inverted today. Trent was just a normal right back getting forward like he used to, and trying to support Mo Salah. He weren't playing that.
Not getting back. And not getting back.
And not getting back, yeah. And I don't want McAllister and Szoboszlai doing that, guys. I really don't. I want them go back to the inverted thing and let them be box midfield. Because when we do the box midfield in pre-season before the Munich game, Szoboszlai and McAllister were further forward doing their thing and looking great, like we were bigging them up for it because they were further forward. Now, when you play 4-3-3, they got to be 6s and 8s. And for me, it don't suit them, K-Mac. It don't suit them.
Can I touch on that? Is that all right, Baz?
Yeah.
Go for it, man.
So, what I can't really get my head around is is we signed these players. Well, we thought, okay, we thought we signed these players because they were going to take away the responsibility from Trent being the only creative outlet on the pitch. It's the total opposite. It's still the same. And Jurgen even said in his speech, where he was basically saying he's sorry and you need to give him time, that he didn't want all of our players looking for Trent all the time. Well, they're not going to look for Sabulstein. They're not going to look for McAllister because they're not in a position to create anything. So it's going to be the same scenario again, where it's pass the ball to Trent and then give it to Salah and then see what happens. Like, or if Jota and Gakpo are on, then they'll kind of create through themselves, like between themselves, which they did today. And this just like we said at the start, same shit, different day. And today, I don't know whether we were playing 4-3-3, Jamie, or the box, because it looked like we were playing some of it for like 10 minutes and then some of it for like 5 minutes. And you've got two of our left backs and right backs in the actual midfield, just completely out of position. But then you've still got the three in there, and then we're just getting rinsed at the back. Like, we're going to talk about that anyway, I think. But I wasn't sure what the formation was today. Sometimes it was 3, sometimes it was the inverted. Okay, same shit, different day. Sorry.
I mean, what do you reckon?
You know what? I agree with K-Matt for once. So I'm not just gonna leave it there. Look, we're not making,
Bad's playing the fifth.
He's on the fence.
That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Look, I don't like. Some people in the chat are telling me that Trent was playing inverted today. I didn't really see him coming playing in that defensive midfield area. I saw him more staying more wide on the right hand side than he has done a lot more since last season and pre-season already. He was staying more wide. There was one time as well, he's at left centre back. I don't know what he was doing over there. No idea. Because it went from a corner, he was just over at the left centre back position.
That was what the commentator said. What's he doing over there?
What are you doing, Trent? What are you doing? Like, what worries me, guys, is that I think Klopp's got to pick. I think what Klopp's got to do, he all pre-season, whoever played right back played inverted and went and played alongside the number 6, whoever was playing the number 6, and made a double pivot, and we made that box midfield. That suits the players we got in our team for midfield right now. It's not the 4-3-3. It's that formation, a double pivot in a box with the 2 then attacking-minded midfielders. If it's a Curtis Jones, a Szoboszlai, or a McAllister, it suits their game much better.
100%.
And he's done it every game in pre-season. He was playing Bradley as inverted right back. Yeah, when Trent was playing in the number 6 position, which confused everyone. Now Bradley was playing inverted right back, going alongside Trent in that inverted in that double pivot and having the box, and that looked good. But today was sort of the first time where he went, right, I got Trent back at right back now, but I'm not going to do the inverted thing like we've been doing all pre-season when he goes and plays alongside Curtis Jones in the number 6 area. He's got a bit more freedom to go and do what he used to do, playing right back. And what happened? We got extremely exposed for Bayern Munich's first 2 goals. And that was that was the issue for me, Baz. I don't know about it. It's just like I didn't understand it. I think Klopp's just got to decide what he wants to do. Play Trent inverted. I'm fine with it. I'm actually all right playing Trent inverted because I think he's got so much talent on the ball. Playing in inverted benefits the midfield because the players you've brought in can be attack-minded more and don't have to worry about so much about the defensive work. I think he's got to pick one, ain't he? What does Klopp even know what he wants to play yet?
Yeah, you see, that's the thing, isn't it? Really, I mean, you brought the legs in, so you know you'd have thought logically you're going to play with those legs. Look, any team that's going to play against Liverpool with pacey wingers or forwards, they're going to expose that bit there, because it's been a problem for a minute. And that's exactly what Bayern Munich did today in a pre-season. Imagine that was a Champions League final, or or a game in the Premiership that we needed to keep. Like I said earlier on, he really needs to decide what he's going to do with this guy. If he's going to play him in midfield, play him in midfield, go buy a right back, go buy Kyle Walker-Peters or something like that. But or even if you don't buy someone, get someone in. Connor Bradley, someone like that. Play that system. I worry. I don't like this. Like I said, I don't like this inverted thing, because what it does, it gives these two players whose positions change, i.e. Trent, having to do more offensive work than defensive work, but coming back and just being not useless, but not really doing too much there because he's had to run back. Then Ibu suffers for it as well. It's a problem for me. It's a problem, and I agree with you, Jamie. I don't think he knows what he's doing just yet in terms of the role. I think if he's going to try to bring players in, I think that would maybe give him an opportunity. But yeah, I'm not convinced. I don't like this thing, and I thought today, he didn't have the greatest game, Trent. You know what I mean? And that does worry me, because that's bigger quality, and we're going to be playing big quality teams. You know what I mean? Your Newcastles, your Manchester United and stuff like that. Yeah, he probably might cook in that. But when we need to play, Champions League in the next year or so, I know things can change then. But, he needs to turn up, because now he's that midfielder now. The two roles don't do it for me. You play him either in midfield, play him in a DM, play him as an 8, play him wherever you want to play. Don't put him back, because I don't know, man. I'm not too keen on this. It is concerning me a little bit, because I don't want to see that against Chelsea for sure.
And look, and Cal says there, could Bradley be seen as a starter? This is a good point.
If he plays as a right back, yes, but not inverted. Bradley can't play inverted.
No, he hasn't got the talent Trent has to play inverted. So if you go play inverted,
nobody can.
You can only play Trent. If we're going to play inverted, you can only play Trent. It's as simple as that, because there's no one else who can play it apart from Trent. But some people might say that Trent's skills now belong in midfield. So if Trent's skills now belong in midfield, and Bradley's more of a natural right back, if it gets benefit out of the team, why don't you just start Bradley at right back, put Trent in a double pivot in midfield with the brand new DM we're going to buy, whoever that is. We're going to talk about that in a bit.
Or McAllister.
Brand new DM, put Trent in that double pivot alongside him, and then you can use McAllister and Szoboszlai better, because they'd be further up the field. Curtis Jones will be used better because he'd be in his natural more attacking position. Now, Harvey Elliott will be better. I'm going to talk about Harvey Elliott, because I think Harvey Elliott's impressed in this pre-season. It's gone under the radar. And you can use them and get them further up the field. I think it benefits them more. I think Salah scores more goals if we play that way as well. I think it benefits him as well. I just don't know, playing Trent at right back and not having him inverted and playing 4-3-3 benefits anyone in this team apart from the forwards, because they're always going to score goals. And that's my worry. I don't know about you guys, but that's my worry a bit.
So the thing about that is, and I'll just bring up a couple of things. So today, I don't think it would have mattered if we had a DM, because Bayern Munich was so intelligent that they were playing balls over our midfield into the flanks, and that's how good they are. Like, they could just put a pinpoint pass over our entire midfield and just put it on a plate for their players. And Serge Gnabry had an absolute field day, and Sane did as well. And Alphonso Davies, Jesus, what a player he is! Like, he would be an incredible Robbo replacement, by the way. But yeah,
he's time.
So we have to look at this as well. Okay, so we've got an issue with Trent. Okay, because Trent wants to play in midfield. Trent's now being made the vice captain. has he taken the vice captaincy because he's now going to be placed as a right back again? That's the question, because he is playing as a right back today. And with that, we're then going back to the 3 in midfield, which then basically turns the 2 new players into a Gini Wijnaldum and a Henderson replacement, which are just dogs' bodies, workhorses, not having creativity, not being able to shoot, all of that kind of stuff. So you've taken those 2 players and just, degraded them by 50% because that's not their game. So do you go to the inverted? But then if you go to the inverted, Trent has to play as the inverted, which he comes into midfield more. But then you've got the problem on the left. So, because Robertson is a problem, because he can't play as a centre-back, and we need him to drop back in as a centre-back. He's created so many issues and problems with the players that he's got and the players that he signed and the players that he sold. It's a real conundrum. And for me, it just makes sense to play 3-5-2 or 3 and then something in front of that. But it just makes sense that you just play 3 at the back now, 3 central defenders, because all of the other issues you can work with because you've got Trent who can play in midfield. Yeah. So there's your extra midfielder.
Do you know what worries me though, watching the game today? Look, I think we conceded 10 goals in pre-season.
And what I didn't touch on as well is our goalkeepers have been incredible in pre-season, apart from Adrian. Keller and Alisson have been fantastic.
I mean, Alisson had one sloppy mistake today, but where he palmed out in front of him. But I can't really blame Alisson because the defence just goes there. Just walk through, lads.
How did that ball go over every single defender?
Come through. Alisson's in goal. Don't worry about it. Come through.
Every single defender at head height, it went over.
Yeah, it's just mad. Look, I will say one thing. I'm going to say this right now. Pre-season, Virgil's looked pretty good, and I'm just wondering if Virgil spoke about himself. I think he said he feels much more rested this summer than he has done last summer. He feels healthier. He feels fitter. Giving that captain's armband might have gave him a huge boost. I think Virgil's performing all right. It's everyone next to him. That's
when he came off, we were winning.
Right now.
When he came off, we were winning.
Yeah, I think Virgil's starting, as Cal says, starting to get back to himself. I will say one thing: he looks fitter and he looks fresher. He looks a bit more energized. I think the captaincies gave him a boost. He looks great. It's whoever stands next to him is the issue. Even Konate at times has looked a bit funny. But that's because Konate's so young. Joe Matip today, look, I think 2 of the goals, I think Bayern's first 2 goals, Trent positionally, defensively, if he was better, I don't think one of the first goal goes in. The second goal, Matip was too exposed. We left Matip too exposed. So, Matip's about 47 years of age in a Klopp team, in a Klopp team. Let's just let him exposed to quick, skillful attacking forward. Yeah, let's do that, Liverpool. That's great, ain't it? That's clever. So we need a centre back, guys. But who's that centre back, Baz? Like, who is that centre back out there this late in the transfer market now? We need one desperately.
Oh, yeah, we definitely do. Look, the Levi Colwell thing is definitely not happening. So anyone with that, that's definitely.
Gavardo's gone to and they made sure they bid £2 million less than Maguire. They did that on purpose. They're clever.
Do you know something? I haven't seen anything official. Now the thing is, all right, yes, people they always argue, oh, 100 million, or that's just too much for a defender and rah-ta-ta. It's bro, I think at the end of the day, when we look at signings these days, 100 millions and stuff like that, we've got a good relationship with that club. We bought players off them, we've loaned players, etc. We can do a deal. The guy's a Liverpool fan, for God's sake. He's an heir to Van Dijk's throne, and he can, play in that left spot if we are going to play that 3 at the back.
I agree.
With him, Ibu, Van Dijk, then that's assured solid people. You know what I mean? I think Gravendale is still something that you could still buy. And when people think, well, we don't have the money and stuff like that, come on, man. You know, no one spends 100 or 120 million all in one. We could do structures. If it's guaranteed that fee, you could put like, I don't know, 45 million. Do you know what I mean? Something like that, and then pay another 45 million or bonuses and stuff like that. It's more affordable. So for me, Gravendale is one. Or if you're not going to go along those lines, and Man City is just far too gone, and that Ignacio is one for me. You know, he's on like a, has he got a buyout clause? He's got a buyout clause or something, which is like
€49 million.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah, we're buyout FC at the moment, ain't we? So
listen, I don't care if we're buyout FC or if we go into like, you know, home bargains or something like that. If there's a player that's good enough, yeah, and he's at a good price, man, this doesn't matter. When you look at, we don't spend big generally, but we can get diamonds, and it's just having the right, you know, to spot the right player and just getting him. And there are definitely defenders out there that are still available. So I don't see why those two I've mentioned are that there's other players if we really look into them. But we definitely need someone. I do like the one person, you know, one person not many people really mention. I do like DiMarco at Inter Milan. I think that guy's
serious, mate. Serious player.
And he's not been you know, been said much, but you know, we watched him in the Champions League final.
He was man of the match for me.
He was brilliant. And I know people say just don't look at finals and stuff like that, but you know, he's a nominal fee. 25 year age, 25 years old.
He's brilliant.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm almost take Harry Maguire right now.
You know what?
I don't even know if I'm joking to myself or not.
I'm not joking. I had this conversation with a mate of mine on my channel. Like honestly, Harry Maguire would be absolutely brilliant next to Virgil van Dijk. He just would. I'm sorry. He just would.
Harry Maguire, man.
Like, he is brilliant in the air, and he does what he's told.
I mean, it's just...
And it'd be so good if we won everything and Man United watched that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'd buy it just for a laugh. You know what I mean? I'd buy it for a laugh. I actually don't want Harry Maguire. But what I'm saying is, though, that's the state of our defence right now that I'm mentioning Harry Maguire's name. Gueye from Palace is a good defender. I think he's a good defender. I think he's better than Joel Matip right now. I really do. So if he's better than Joel Matip right now, go and buy him. That's what Liverpool got to do. They just got to look and go, right, who can I trust? Who can fit into this back four if needed? Who's better? Gueye at the moment is better than Matip. Go and get him. Matip is done. He's done on a nuclear level. He's playing like he wants to leave. He's playing like he's just here for vibes. When I watch inside training and stuff like that, and Matip's laughing and he's the butt of all the jokes and all that, I'm like, is that why he's here? Is that why he's here? Because it's not for his footballing ability anymore. It just ain't. I don't get our club. Adrian is here for vibes because he makes people laugh in the changing room for £60,000 a week.
He's the DJ in the dressing room.
It's absolutely nuts. We need a left-footed centre back.
Can I just name a couple of defenders that are in the Premier League, by the way? So one of them's in the Championship as well, that we could just go and get, honestly, and they would be decent. Like, I don't think we need amazing. I just think we need someone who fits the system. You've got the guy at Arsenal, Tomiyasu. He's not getting any games. You've got the guy at Fulham, Tayo Alvarado, who they got from Man City. He's on a free transfer soon. You've got Bella Kotchup, who plays at Southampton. He's a German international. Like, he's available. Like, there are players available. Max Kilman for Wolves, he's available. Tomori's available. Like, there are lots and lots of defenders out there that we could go and get. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I really don't understand, like, why we're still keeping Gomez and Matip around.
Guys, you got to remember in the chat, I was saying Harry Maguire for a laugh.
I was as well.
I do not want Harry Maguire. He's terrible.
That's the guy I missed out, by the way. Joachim Anderson. He plays next to Gueye.
Yeah. He's really good. Someone said a player in the chat a minute ago, and I can't remember. I can't find it no more. But yeah, he. There's lots of talented little centre backs out there that we can go and buy. And who's that centre back at Southampton that used to be at Chelsea?
He's not a centre back. You mean
No, he's not
Liver
centre-back.
Morento? He's a
No,
left
yeah,
back.
yeah, he's a left
left
back,
back.
ain't he? We need a
He's
left
good
back.
though.
We need a left back. I think I
Yeah,
said
we
it
do.
to Cal, I don't remember. Was it on Coppish? I said it that Liverpool need a Robertson replace. Like everyone's talking about, like Simicast needs to go. We need to get a Simicast replacement as a number 2 to challenge Robbo. And my opinion was we need a whole new left back that comes in and Robbo drops to number 2. That's in my opinion, because I watched Robbo lately and I don't. It's not. He doesn't understand what he's doing. Yeah, Liv Martin as a right back. I thought he was. Yeah,
he hasn't adapted. He hasn't adapted well.
He hasn't adapted.
Yeah,
he hasn't adapted at all, and he's struggling to understand what Klopp wants him to do. And he's not. Look, Robbo's natural game, his high energy. Jose Mourinho said it before. Watching Robbo, he said he watched Robbo from the touchline and he was shattered just watching Robbo, because it's that all day for 90 minutes, box to box, keeping up with his winger, overlapping his winger, undercutting his winger when needed, joining in the midfield when he's needed, and then 2 seconds later getting back and defending. That's the Robbo we all know and love, and we all called one of the best left backs in Europe at the time for good reason. That Robbo, for me, does not exist anymore. I don't think that Robbo is able to do that anymore on a continuous basis. And I think Klopp knows that as well. And that's why Klopp's trying to change his game by changing the way he plays right now and making him just a more defensive-minded footballer instead of that footballer we once had. But the problem is, the way we play, the biggest way we play, we still rely on them fullbacks to be the most creative players on the pitch still. Although we bought McAllister and Szoboszlai and Trent and Robbo are still looked at by the team as the players that are going to be the most creative on the pitch. But we're not letting Robbo do that anymore, because I think Klopp knows for a fact Robbo can't do that anymore. So for me, we need a new left back who can do that. I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah. Look, we definitely need a left-sided centre back, or someone that has that left back play as well. And the thing with Robbo, yes, hasn't adapted well in his formation. But this is the thing: are we keeping that formation? Because if we don't keep that formation, he's one of the players that actually needs a rest. He's been used far too much. And I think this guy needs that rest, because I don't think he's a bad defender. Look, he's got it. I just think when you look at our team is a very tired team, especially our defenders. They're very tired. Our midfield was an example, and they've all gone now. Some have gone. You know, it's the same thing with certain players. They're getting too much games, and their bodies. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot. You know, and I just think this guy needs a good rest. Look, these players like him don't come around often, and you know, to like maybe get rid of him or something like that, it's going to be. We need to be very careful, because we're talking about what's on the field and off the field. He's vitally important for players. You know, he's the one that's the joker in the team. He's the one that does all that kind of stuff there. You still do need characters in there. Sorry, I sound like Roy Keane, but
you don't need to sell him, but he shouldn't be guaranteed first choice. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not being reactionary, my friend. If you're new to the channel, I've been saying this for about 12 months. To be fair, I think everyone in the chat will back me up. I've been saying this for about 12 months. I'm not being reactionary.
Yeah.
Can I just touch on the Robbo thing? You know what I feel like's happening, and look, I love Robbo. Robbo's been absolutely fantastic. He's absolutely terrible at striking the ball, and he shouldn't shoot at goal. And he's wasted so many chances over his career, but he's still a fantastic player. You know, broke loads of records with assists. You know, some of the assists he's got for us, his corner taking's phenomenal. He's starting to feel like Henderson. He's put in a position where he hasn't got the physical ability to do the job, and he's starting to look out of place, and he's starting to look like he's a poor player when he's not a poor player. He's just being asked to do something that he can't do anymore. And
he'll still get forward.
Klopp turning around and going, "Oh well, I'll just put him as centre back because he doesn't have to run as much."
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to work either.
He's
never been a centre back in his life.
It's like he still gets forward, Robbo. He got an assist today, so he still can get forward. I think what everyone in chat might be not understand what I'm saying is that Robbo can still get forward and get assists like he did today. And actually, I thought Robbo, to be fair, looked all right today. So I'm not going to go slaughter him. But I'm going on for 12 months now. This ain't just about today's game. It's a 12-month period with Robbo. And he can still get forward and get the odd assist here and there. But we all have to admit it's not the Robbo of old. Yeah, it's not the Robbo of old. And that's the Robbo that was one of the best left-backs in Europe. There's no doubt about that.
Still a different system, though, Jamie. I respect it. I agree totally. But you know what? He's playing in a different position now. He's got to be more disciplined, and that's the thing. He's not disciplined. He's not really a disciplined player, is he? I think the responsibility of having him there at left centre back or this role that he's playing he's just not disciplined enough. He's someone that will take chances. He's someone that's just going to rattle a player, and then I worry a lot about that because then he's on edge. And he's obviously a year older, and then every year you're having like these new tricky players, fast players that are going to be challenging him, and he needs to be disciplined. And I think he's just not disciplined. And like you said, I think he just definitely does need to sit on the bench, and we need to find someone in there if we're going to insist on playing this way. If we don't play this way, then I still think this guy just needs a rest, give Tsimikas an opportunity as well, and then it might do him some good.
I agree. Look, and with Jade on here, reactionary, it's pre-season game. Right. You might be new to the chat.
Have you seen anything change from last season?
Last pre-season, right? Last pre-season, 12 months ago today, I was doing all the pre-season games, and I was getting wound up. And I said last year, Baz won't remember this. I said last year that there's something wrong with Liverpool. We're terrible this pre-season. There is something wrong. Everyone looks off. I don't know what it is, right? And then everyone kept telling me it's pre-season, Jamie. Don't worry. When we play the first game of the season, it's all right. It's just pre-season. They're just getting this out of the thing, yeah? And then last season was absolutely shocking, yeah? and that's what everyone told me. It's pre-season, Jamie. Don't worry. But I literally said it last year as well, and I'm saying it this year. I take pre-season seriously. I think a lot of people are starting to take pre-seasons seriously because they're starting to play better teams in pre-season. Before, pre-season was never on telly. It was hard to get tickets for. You played a couple of games here and there, and it was all about training. I think pre-season's taken a lot more seriously now, and it is a very good indication of where your team can be, going into a new season. Sometimes it's not. I mean, I think one pre-season, Liverpool didn't win a single game. We went to win the league. But there was things in that pre-season. There was another pre-season. We destroyed Barcelona 4-1. And, it's all these different things. And,
there's been positives, though, Jamie, as well.
There's definitely positive. The attack is amazing. That is a massive positive.
Even that, Jamie.
Trent, when he plays inverted, is amazing. And Alisson has been great. Kelleher has been great. Conor Bradley has done, I think, a really good job at right back. Kwanzaa's come in and gone, you know what? He's taking Nat Phillips' fifth choice role next season, in my opinion.
Ben Doak.
Ben Doak! Talk about the son of a bitch.
I think Kwanzaa's taking Matip's place next season, mate.
Yeah. Ben Doak! This kid's ready. I don't care what anyone says. I'm on the Doak train. I fully got on board earlier. I bought the ticket. I'm sitting in first class. I am in the Doak train. This kid's special. This kid has got something. Do not send him on loan. Do not. It'll ruin him. Keep him at the club. He's in the squad next season. He will play Premier League games next season. He will play Europa League games next season. FA Cup games, League Cup games. I'd rather have Ben Doak at right wing than Harvey Elliott. Ben Doak. Yeah, I'm on Doak is coke. You know what I'm saying?
He had end product today as well. It's just for poor finishing. But he provided two really good chances in that game. But
was brilliant.
We didn't have the finishes from Nunez and the other guy. Who's that other guy? Because I think he's been pretty good as well. Another kid who's 17. Bobby Clark. Bobby Clark's been good. McConnell's been good.
Definitely right. By the way, this one's right. FSG need a back Klopp. 100%. Go on, keep going, guys.
Yeah. No, look, there has been some positives. To be fair, yes. We look. The question is like, if we had a decent DM, okay, and we had like, addressed either a right back role or a centre back role, I think we'd be a little bit more better than what we saw today. Today wasn't a bad result, to be fair. It was just obviously we've seen what we saw last season, but it still can be addressed. That's the thing; it can still be addressed. Still got to believe in it. You know what I mean? Look, I'm someone that people know that I'm just literally, when I'm not happy, everyone knows about it. But the thing is, it is pre-season, but I do get it, Jamie. Sometimes you get to learn and see what's really happening. But if we can invest in a centre back or a right back or a DM, things look a little bit more different. So we just got to be hopeful, and we get the right players in. Doesn't have to be. We've done it on various different streams. It doesn't have to be brand name players. Doesn't have to be Declan Rices of this world. Doesn't have to be Jude Bellingham's of this world. You can go and buy a Thuram for around the 35 million pound. Even a Kone, if things are not too serious. You can even go. You can get the Inacio if you're not going to go and do your Gravendale at big money. It still offers us a chance for next season.
Yeah, I agree. There's been a few people. Bobby Clark, big at Arch. He's another one. Bobby Clark looks okay, He could have scored again today. That would have been 2 in a row. Yeah, he got himself in a good position. Just didn't connect with the ball well enough, but he got himself in that position. Another little player, keep holding. I like to see the young players coming through that are actually looking okay and good. I can see a career for them. There's a lot of young players we got that come through, and I watch them I don't ever need to see them again. But there's some that is I can see a career for them. Now, Bobby Clark might not have the career at Liverpool that he might wish, but I can see him having a good professional career. And he's another player. He's another Clark, Doak, Kwanzaa. They're the 3 young boys for me that have really stood out this pre-season. No one really stood out for me last pre-season but these 3 are really. I think Klopp's going to be looking at them and thinking, yeah, maybe they're saying. I think Jamrock was saying let Kwanzaa go out on loan to a lower Premier League team or something. I don't know. I think if Nat Phillips gets sold, I think he's 5th choice centre back for Liverpool. He's big, he's powerful, he's quick, he's agile.
He's our only left-sided left-footed
centre
back.
I think you might see him a couple of games next season.
I don't mind.
They need to give these guys. This is the thing, and in all of this, we haven't even mentioned Besetic. That's another mad one. But look, these youngsters that have come in, we're not going to give 5, 6, 7, youngsters opportunities like that. But your Ben Doak, for example, your Kwanzas and your Clarks and that, they need to get games. They definitely need to get games. If they're good enough, you start them in some games. Some important, not important games, but maybe give them that opportunity, give them that taste. The ones that you're not so sure about or you don't use, don't let them stay off. Send them out on loan, but to a good quality team, because they're not learning anything and no disrespect to Ross County or Gillingham or something like that. If you want to if you want your younger players to learn, you've got to put them in respectable teams and get them to fight. Still have that attitude of fighting for a space in a bigger team. Maybe not so big as Liverpool when you're out on loan, but you know what? Do that. And the scouts watching them all the time.
Yeah, and look, another one. Let's talk about Curtis Jones. He played the 6 today, right? I like Curtis Jones, but the number 6 is not his game. Yeah. That's like me. That's like putting me in Mr. Universe. It's not my game. You know what I mean? I can give it a go, but it's not going to end well. He's a good footballer, Curtis Jones, in the attacking part of the pitch. I think we can all agree with that. In the attacking end of the pitch, where he can get on the end of crosses or can score a goal, or he's got good feet, tactics. Like today, you saw him in number 6 position. When he's got the ball under the press, he's actually pretty comfortable. There was times today where he was so deep, he was in that centre-back position at times. And he was picking up the ball when he was turning, very comfortable, and that's the sort of player Curtis is. But as a defending six, people are walking past him because it's not his game. And it's ridiculous. This is where I'm peed off with the football club. We are messing around. Just get Lavia done. Apparently, we bid a third bid has gone in for Lavia now. Apparently, it's the bid Southampton wanted. Southampton wanted 14 million up front and the rest in the instalment in add-ons. Yeah, and apparently that's what Liverpool bid now. So this Lavia deal looks like it should happen now. Get Lavia. We just need a DM who's a DM. Yeah, a defensive midfielder who knows what he's doing in that role, and let Curtis be Curtis. Let him go and play further up the field and attack a little bit more, because Curtis is decent, man. He's decent. We got Sam. Go and check out Sam's video earlier today, guys. On This Is Football. It's a hot debate between myself, Tom Little, and James Redmond and Sam himself. It was a really good debate. Great show. Well worth watching. Go and check it out, guys. Definitely.
Do you know? I'm sorry, came out. I'll just quickly say this. I think obviously we mentioned this on Quasi's show, and big up Quasi. Look, we definitely do need a specialized DM if we're going to play that role for sure. I am still a little bit concerned about Lavia. I mean, look, if we're going to get him, go ahead, get him. But we just lost, experience in that midfield. You know what I mean? No, obviously we got your Sabosli's and your McAllisters, who are young, promising, potential superstars and that. But to get Lavia, I'm still not 100% convinced. I think he's a great player, but 1 year in the Premiership at a struggling team to go and anchor that back line and that, between that back line and that midfield, and especially obviously us Liverpool fans, and understandably, we want results and want results now. This guy, worry about him. If we do sign him, is he going to be the one? I want to look for more of an experienced type. There are players out there for sure. We definitely do need a Premiership proven, and that's why you can even say, I know he's not a DM, but Calcedo, his Premiership experience and he's got that chemistry with McAllister. But again, these are players that it can be possible to get them. It can still be possible. But Lavia, I'm a little bit worried about. He is young, and he has got talent. He's not rubbish, absolutely. But can he really come into this Liverpool team and literally be that anchor? It's a lot. It's one of those positions that a lot depends on him, and he's still so young. And his backup would be someone like Basetic, who is young himself. We've got to be very careful. I mean, we definitely do need a DM, but we definitely need to be careful, because this is a specialized place where a lot happens, where they're guarding those two centre backs, where they are, breaking play and, looking to cut lines and stuff like that, which Fabinho did exceptionally well, during the years. I worry.
Yeah, look, it's good, but we need the number 6 in. I think after watching today, I think Liverpool might try and get 2 midfielders in, I think they might want someone a bit more experienced and the younger one. Look, it doesn't have to be Prince Andrew settings all the time. You don't always have to go for youth, We can go for a bit more experience, you know what I mean? We don't have to be young FC over here. We can get
touch on that.
Because we're bidding. Apparently,
no.
Apparently we're looking at Kessie from at Barcelona. Now, apparently Kessie's available for 15 million quid. Now, if I'm Liverpool, I know people might not be Kessie's biggest fan. I'm probably not his biggest fan either. But the way we desperately need the numbers, even if Kessie's a stopgap for a year, and we get Lavia in as well, and Lavia's going to be the eventual number 6 that takes over, but, him and Kessie interchange. I'm fine with that. We need proper DMs if we're going to play this way. Because if we're going to play this way and we haven't got a proper DM, we're going to get our ass handed to us multiple times this coming season. It could be scary. Go on, K-Mac.
Okay. Look, we've got no plan B. Like, how did we not see this coming? Did we not think that we were going to get some bids from Saudi Arabia like everyone else was? Like, we are so boring and so rigid. It's like all we were ever going to do this season in this transfer window was buy Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister. That was it. There was nothing else because we were so sure that Henderson and Fabinho were going to stay. I'm sorry, but were Henderson and Fabinho going to be any better than what we've got now? You just don't know. It could have been another car crash anyway. We just need to go and buy someone. And he sat there at Brighton and he's available if you buy him for the right price. We've just made 60 million. We were going to buy Lavia anyway before this money came in for Henderson and Fabinho, because that's what everyone was talking about. So you just go and spend 85 million. You break your transfer record and you buy Caicedo, who works with McAllister and fills the gap. But I can't believe that we're sat here now with 2 weeks to go till we start the Premier League and we have no DM at the club. Proper DM. We've got Thiago, who's not really a DM but can play it. We've got Stefan Bajcetic, who's really a number 8, but he played DM because we were desperate. And we've got Curtis Jones, who's actually a left winger that got moved into central midfield as a box-to-box player, and now he's being played as a DM. Are you fucking having a laugh?
Yeah, it's a mess, Baz, ain't it? Let's face it. It's a mess right now. Look, I will say I don't think Liverpool had any intentions of letting Henderson and Fabinho go this summer, but then they got a deal for Fabinho they couldn't turn down, and Henderson wanted to leave, so they let them both go.
It is a mess, Jamie.
But this shouldn't be a problem because the DM should have come in last summer anyway. So it's the problem we're at.
We should never be. You know what? We should never be a club in transition. Over the years, like we said earlier on, Jamie. We've never been a team that's ever had transition. We've always bought in before expiry dates and stuff like that over the years. We don't do that anymore for sure. Something that Klopp had said. I don't know if there's any truth to it. It's probably one of those, internet things. But Klopp was saying that he's a bit worried about the Saudi transfer ending late. I have a feeling, hopefully not, but I have a feeling maybe one more player might be going. I don't know who.
Thiago.
But it could be someone along those lines there, K-Mac. But it is a mess. But the thing is, it's the operational side of the club that is the mess. But we won't get into it. But then at the same time, people would argue, well, does a particular person in the, that is managing the club want more players? It is a bit of a mess, but it's a mess that can be resolved, but I just don't know how.
Look, it's mad. Big up a don called Slatan. Jamie, our defensive French is World War II defensive line. Seriously. Oh man, Jesus, that weren't me who said that. Charlie activist and Andre is like Thiago, not a true 6. Yeah, that's what I've read about him. He's not an out-and-out defensive-minded midfielder. Kismet. For sure, like YouTube's only read out super chats.
He's really bad in the air as well, by the way.
I do read out a lot of people's comments who don't just super chat. So be fair to me, please.
Andre's really bad in the air as well.
Yeah, I mean,
not a position to be as a DM. Poor in the air.
I think there's a lot of, I don't know about you guys, but I think there's a lot of talk going about this geezer right now, and smoke and fire and all that comes to mind, and I think it's someone we're probably going after. I see something in the lines of that. We get him in January. I think we buy him and we get him in January when he stays at his club. Or we go in for him again in January or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually buy him. There's talks Gabriel Vega, apparently I saw today, Liverpool go buy him and then loan him back to Celta Vigo for the year. And then a lot of people are saying that's because that's the Thiago replacement, because I think David Lynch said today that Thiago is not going to get a new contract at the end of the season. This is his last season at Liverpool. He's going to go for free at the end of the year. So they're looking at Gabriel Vega as a replacement. That's why he's going to stay at Celta Vigo for the year on loan. I'm like, makes no sense. We need midfielders. Can you imagine? We got midfielders, but they're at other clubs. We can't bring them in yet. That'd just be mad to me. Just get them in now.
Got right backs. We got right backs that are at other clubs as well.
Yeah. just get him in, man. Just get him in. But the Andre one, I think that's the one that I really feel like. I don't know about Jay, the activist in the chat. He might agree. I think that's something we might be looking at a January transfer, because we do a lot of business in January lately, and I wouldn't be shocked by that. But Lavia and look, I'm not the biggest Kessie fan. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think he's mobile enough for Liverpool. But if he's 15 million quid, and that's what apparently Barcelona are offering, and I don't know if you heard about the news about Barcelona today. They're in trouble. You know, they're financially a mess. I think they had a sponsor pull out or something today, didn't they? And they're in a bit of trouble. So if he's available for 15 million, I'd get him as a stopgap, but I'd still get Lavia at the same time. You know what I mean? So we got someone there who knows how to pay the six. It's
stopgaps are very dangerous at Liverpool. You won't see them.
It's
I'd
mad.
Go in and get Christiansen as well then.
Yeah, I mean, Christiansen as a centre back. He's one of them centre backs. When you usually put him with a really good centre back, he performs. But if he's not with a really good centre back, he sort of he's that sort of player, ain't he? If he's with if you put Christiansen with Canate, it'd be terrible. But if you put Christiansen with Virgil, he'll look all right. You know, he'll look good.
Christiansen can also play in a 3.
Yeah,
with Chelsea for a long time. He's also won everything.
Jay's like, just bring back half.
Has he not got to Florentina?
Gone to Florentina.
The crazy thing about it is we literally need bodies. Like, it's just mental. Like, we need bodies at the club. Like,
this is why I'm concerned. You know what the fact is? Look, we bought some brilliant players. We bought 2 brilliant players. There's no denying that, yeah. But logically, hear this out, yeah. Logically, we bought 2 in. We've got rid of like 4 or 5, yeah. The maths don't add. Do you know what I mean? It takes look today, McAllister. Hopefully he's all right and he starts. You know, everything's okay. But we're like hand in our heart moment. You know what I mean? Because who do we have that come in? It's a problem. It's a problem. And when you look at how we're going to do bear shows, obviously later on in the preseason, in season, yeah, when we're talking about Jurgen Klopp's some injuries, Jurgen Klopp's trainings like the triple training and all that kind of stuff. Is it doing our players in? We don't have replacements for them. And if you're going to give youth an opportunity, fine. I'm all for giving youth opportunity, but give them the opportunity to shine. Don't just leave yourself short and have not so great youth players. And then before you know it, they're gone to Kidderminster Harriers and stuff like that. That, we can't be doing that.
I'm reading some of these comments, man. It's making me laugh. We had 4 goalkeepers on the bench because we didn't have any depth. We did. Yeah, remember we took 3 keepers. That?
We had Adrian, Kelleher and Alisson, didn't we? Because we didn't have no depth. We had to put Adrian on the bench. That's mad. This is Liverpool Football Club. It's absolutely nuts. Just go and get these players in. Just get bodies in now. Look, Jeffrey Dahmer, we need bodies. That's what we need, man. And we just go and get them in. I mean, obviously not anyone. I don't want any dead shit. You know what I mean?
8 out. 8 first-team players out, 2 in. Just let that sink in.
I mean,
and we were threadbare before that, by the way.
Big up Neil in the chat. Hope you're doing well, man. Be honest, guys. Okay, where do you see the Chelsea game going? I don't know, because Chelsea are the unknown as well. They've got Chelsea like a kid who shops in Toys R Us. They're just buying everything. And there's no knowledge to it. It's just like, we'll have that, we'll have that, we'll have that, we'll have that, we'll have that. Buying a lot of youth and all that, because Poch is really good with youth players, ain't he? So I can understand why they're doing that. But Chelsea are going to be the biggest unknown in the Premier League next season. They go have an 11 no one recognises. They go have Poch as manager. You got the owner who likes to be the manager at the same time as goes in the changing rooms and has meetings with the players. That's why Thomas Tuchel left Chelsea. He's like, get out. I'm the manager. It's going to be crazy over there. I don't know. It could be 4-4. It could be a 4-4 game. It could be a 3-3 game. It could be 3-0. It could be 5-0. That Chelsea game
certainly won't be 0-0 like last season.
No,
that was terrible. That game.
It'd be mad. Yeah, Kessie, if he's available for 15 million, it's the thing. Liverpool
Isn't
won't
he on
look
about
at him.
like 250 grand a week though? Isn't he like a
because
really
Barcelona are
high-paid
ridiculous. It's because Barcelona have no
wages.
knowledge of how banking works, and it's just like, how much we got in the bank? I do care. We're going to our overdraft. It don't matter. No one will notice. You know, it's just madness over there. But if he's worth 15, if he's valuable 15 million, and then he can play the DM role, I'd rather have Kessie as a DM, even if you don't rate him. I'd rather have him in front of whoever's going to play number 6 for Liverpool in our current lineup right now. So, yeah, but we don't do stopgaps, as Baz says, and that's the problem, you know, because stopgaps, Klopp don't like them. You know, Klopp don't like stopgaps. He won't play them. He'll only play players. That's why we don't do loan deals. We don't do loan deals because Klopp only plays players that have got futures for the next 2 or 3 years that he can build a team around and get him involved in. That's why I don't really like loan deals. Now, I think the last loan deal we done was it Stephen Colker.
Yeah, it was him. What was the guy that we bought from?
Stephen Colker, man, that's
Kabak.
a weird signing.
Kabak was the last
Kabak,
loan deal.
yeah, Kabak was a loan deal, and he never really played, did he? He played a handful of games.
Can I just say something that I think is quite interesting? Is look, like I said, we are so rigid that we haven't got any flexibility, and we have made our signings,
and he didn't play.
we have made our signings for this summer. As far as Klopp is concerned, these 2 players were the ones he wanted, and these are the ones he got. Okay, that was done and dusted. Something came up where our players got sold, and Klopp wasn't prepared for that. I honestly don't know what we are going to do. Like, I don't know whether we're going to sign a midfielder or whether he's just going to try someone else in another position. Honestly, I just can't see us signing anyone else. Like, it's going to be a case of George Smacked is probably going to have a massive argument with Klopp and go, look, there's a big gap. All your players left, you need to buy one. And he's like, no, I'm fine with my squad. You know, I'm fine. And he'll start naming all the midfielders again. Honestly, it just doesn't change. Nothing changes. Like, we are so far behind every single year. We're going to be another year behind again, like we are this year, and the year before. It's always like 1 year later, you're like, oh, but what if you just made that one player or that second signing? That could have changed everything, but we didn't do it. And you can blame FSG all you want, or you can blame Klopp. I really don't care now. It just needs to happen.
Yeah, players need to come in. There's no doubt about it. John says, seems like there is a bunch of clans running the transfers. It's weird. I don't get it. Right? Look, we all know FSG PR machine is the best in the business. Yeah, their PR machine is tremendous. It does actually work as well because people were like, "Oh, hang on," you know, and they get into their heads, and people were like, "Oh, hang on, we're going to do this. Okay, all right." And then when the summer comes, they're like, "No, we're shopping at Avon." You know what I mean?
Jamie, they probably paid for that fake David Ornstein.
yeah. Did you see that today about the Casado thing? Yeah, it's just. But to be fair, Liverpool are not the only team. There's quite a few teams in the Premier League still shopping, still looking for players, still looking for replacements, running up to the end of the season. And the problem is, the reason that there's a lot of teams still looking for players as well is because especially in this country, not a lot of teams need to sell players anymore. Especially the teams in this country, they're all wealthy. Look, could you have told Brighton fans 4 or 5 years ago that you could turn down £80 million for a player? Because they don't need to sell him because they got money. This is the problem we're in now. You know, Lavia's not a £50 million player after 35 games. He's not a £50 million player, but it's the market. The market determines how much everyone is because of the movement in the market. Because we've made this league, especially in this Premier League, we have made it so rich and powerful that average players are going for 30, 40 million. So teams are like, well, their players are going for 30, 40 million. We want 30 or 40 million. And plus, we don't really need to sell now because we have money. You know,
Right.
you can't really bully the small teams no more. Liverpool can't bully Southampton. Liverpool are trying to bully Southampton to get Lavia on the cheap. They can't do it because Southampton don't need the money.
The scouts. This is the thing, Jamie. We've got scouts all over the world. When you look at Brighton scouts, I mean, they're brilliant. They just brought in some absolute diamonds, yeah, and selling them on. All right, they didn't do too well with McAllister in the end, you know what I mean, in terms of how much they got for him. But look, we've identified players. I know this is something different, but we've identified players in the past. We just took too long to get them, and then they just go on, and then they're worth loads of money. We do need the infrastructure. You know, a few years ago was probably one of the best around, but now, you know, we do still have these scouts, and this is the thing. We need to do a little bit more. If we're not, you know, we got to accept we're never going to compete in terms of, like, you know, going and buying £100 million players. It's never going to happen, man. It's never. And if it does happen, it's just like, you know, it's going to be a shock to everyone. But we can get these players out. There are players out there that are available. You know, I just look at Jude Bellingham, for example. We could have took a chance on him and sent him out on loan. When you look at Chelsea and how much money they make, you know, it's amazing how much money they make. If they take a chance on a player, if they don't like him, they send him out on loan or whatever, and they're sold. You know what I mean? Liverpool can do that if we're not going to be that. We've got to be realistic as Liverpool fans as well. We all want our club to spend big, or maybe not spend so big, but, you know, get the right players in. That involves money, but the owners are just who they are. But like I said, again, not going too much into it, yeah, but there are some people to blame, and they're the head of operations, and they need to do things, because we will struggle. And, you know, for a team that's built over the last 7 years or so, 8 years, we've been challenging a club, that Man City, who have spent money after money, and we've not spent as much as them, but we're challenging. We don't want to be left far behind, and that could be a danger. And if we don't get in players now, before you know it, the consistency will drop down. It's taken a long time to be consistent to challenge for a title every year. It's a big drop, and we definitely need to be careful. And I think the infrastructure needs to be looked at as well as the, you know, the operations team.
Yeah,
I just touch on that as well.
Yeah, go on.
What I think is really funny is like we're all raving about like the Liverpool transfers and that. Did we really need any scouts to see how good Tchouaméni and Jude Bellingham were? You didn't really need to have scouts to see those players. You didn't really need to have a scout to see how good McAllister was, because McAllister's been absolutely phenomenal last season and the season before as well. So you don't need scouts for these players. Like, these players you just go and buy because they're just brilliant. And the thing about it, what I didn't say before, is I can only see us signing a player if we hijack him from another club, because he was on our radar for next year. You know, he was already in the plan, just like Diaz was, just like Gakpo was. They were in the plan for the year later or the next window. And it's like, oh no, we're going to lose him, so we need to buy him now. That's what's going to happen. So if we really want Van de Ven, Tottenham are looking at buying him, then we will buy Van de Ven if he was in the plans for next year or January's window. So that's where we sit. We were only going to buy 2 players. I'm telling you, that was all we were going to do this window. Whether we lost
I agree.
the 4, we were still just going to buy 2. It's because those 2 have gone, we are now arsing around and flapping about and lowballing teams trying to get a cheap deal when we're just not going to get one. And the thing about it is, if we did want a player next year, so if we were looking at Caicedo for next year, or we were looking at whoever, I'm not going to say any names, but whoever for next year, and someone comes along and that deal's there for them to go, we may well hit it early, because that's what happens.
I think we're getting one more. I think we get one more. Who? I couldn't tell you in what position. I couldn't tell you. But I think we.
Sanderberg, someone wrote, sorry.
I do think the Lavia deal happens. I do think the Lavia deal happens.
Lavia could have been one for next year, and that's the reason why we pulled the trigger now.
Yeah,
it could be that simple.
I think the Lavia deal happens now, and I look at it, and you might be right, because I don't think Liverpool ever thought they were letting go of Fabinho and Henderson this summer. So they had Fabinho and Henderson still at the football club, Thiago at the football club. They bought McAllister, they bought Szoboszlai. They had Stefan, Curtis Jones, and Harvey Elliott. If you look at it like that, they probably thought that is the midfield they were going to go with for next season. So you might be right there. And then with with Henderson and that leaving, it's put it's caught and cold, and now they've got to look for a player to come in. So, and it shouldn't be the case, because we should have these players to replace them anyway. We shouldn't be shopping at lastminute.com sort of scenario. But look, let's finish on this game for a second. Look,
and if you look at it as well, sorry, it would have been a big window. Like, it would have been a big window for us, because we bought Szoboszlai for 70 million, and we bought McAllister for 45 million. So it would have been a big spend. If you work that out, that's 130 million. And that would have been no players going. So it would have been a big window. But because this has happened and now we've got cash, everyone's like, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the mad thing. It was, if Fabinho was termed untouchable 3 weeks before he left. The reason is, I don't think they ever thought a club had bid 40 million for him. I think that was probably the reason behind that comment. Let's finish on the good stuff. Look, Liverpool's attack. I think we could be one of the top goal scorers in the league next year. I think we're going to score like 3 or 4 goals maybe every game. I literally think that's the way we're going. I think that's the way we're going to play next year. I've got a feeling we're going to try and play where we just score more than you scenario. And I can see us scoring a lot of goals, because our forward line is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's absolute fire. If we can get Szoboszlai and McAllister in the right positions in that midfield, on that pitch behind them strikers, they will cook as well. You know, they will be beautiful as well. If we can go and get a DM before the Chelsea game, I'll be proper happy. I'll be much happier. We need a centre-back as well. That's still going to worry me. I think Virgil has improved. Robbo, I don't know what's going on with Robbo. Trent at right back. Trent looks better as a footballer as an inverted right back instead of just a right back. Play him inverted for me. It benefits the midfield more. Well, I think we look more vulnerable today than we did when Trent was playing inverted, personally. And just play him inverted, man. Klopp, just play Trent inverted. We're going to concede chances, guys. It's the way it is. We are going to concede chances. And we need defenders just to make sure we don't concede too many goals all the time. Look, Klopp, we've always conceded chances. You know, it's just the way we play. Our defence got better when we got Virgil in, because it's Virgil. And our defence got much better. But I still remember us conceding chances and stuff like that. We weren't like super defensive at the back. We still played attacking-minded football, but we had that midfield that was just a rock and just blocked everything out of its path. We don't have that no more. And we're changing the way we play. So, yeah, he wants to come a possession team. You saw that in the first half. We play some nice possession-based football in that first half, especially with the on the ball. This is my thing, guys. On the ball, we look great. When we got the ball, we're doing our bit. We look great. The problem is when we not got the ball, and in transition, we look shaky. And that's issues. But what did you like about today's game, Baz? Because I did like us on the ball. I like the attack. I like, again, the Jota and Gakpo link-up play is nice. I'm trying to think of any more positives. Alisson was quality. You know, but it's just it's off the ball for me where we're lacking at the moment.
Yeah. Look, this was like our biggest challenge, and we still managed to score goals. Our forwards were great. Ben Doak was brilliant. Our goalkeeper was brilliant. There's a lot of positives. The play from the top was great. Again, I still believe it is still pre-season. It's pre-season. It was against one big club, and we held our own. And look, they scored a wonder goal in the end that won it, and that was deservedly. That for me, that's to beat someone like Alisson like that. You know what I mean? It's just
that kid was like over the moon. He couldn't believe it, could he?
Absolutely. But there was positives. There's definitely a lot of positives. Obviously, some negatives are what we all know anyway. We just need to address them. We just, look, you can still lose 1 or 2 games in the Premier League and still challenge. You know what I mean? But you do obviously need, you need the right personnel, and I think there is fine tuning to be done. So long as they learn from it, and we get the players in, if we are going to get a player or 2 in, the transfer window is still alive and kicking. You know what I mean? We can still address these problems. The one thing, like I said, there is a lot of positives. The only negatives, like I say, is that inverted. It's more the tactic than the players. It's the tactic that I'm a little bit concerned about, because you're going to pick up injuries if you got to play to your strengths. And I think right now, if our squad and our bench ain't that great in terms of midfield and defenders, you got to be very careful, because Trent is an example of he can do so much, but if he's doing defending and midfield work and stuff, he's going to get injured. And we're going to miss a player like him. We've got no replacement for him. The inverted thing, that's my biggest problem.
Apparently, Klopp said, guys in the chat, tell me if this is true, because someone's quoted it on Twitter. Apparently, Klopp said, whatever we do in the transfer market, it won't be enough for some people. I don't know if he said this. You guys in the chat will have to tell me if he actually said that. It's a quote I'm reading online right now.
It sounds like a Jurgen Klopp thing. You know what I mean, to be fair. But look,
he shouldn't be saying that, though, because we should just be buying players. So he shouldn't be down to him to say that.
But remember, the thing is, this guy is very loyal to his owners as well. So he'd be like, look, we bought 2 players, 95 million so far, whatever it is. It's that's spending money. That's what Jurgen Klopp is going to say anyway. We've got 2 players that were better than last season. What's the problem, guys? That's the kind of thing Jurgen Klopp would say. But I really believe that this guy, and again, I don't want to go too deep into it, but this guy really believes what he's got there, and the man himself is that kind of guy where he's quite happy to have like your Conor Bradleys in and stuff like that, because he loves these guys. But giving the players the opportunity, Conor Bradley, for example, or a Clark or a Ben Doak, if they play games, they now don't become youngsters now, do they? They become part of the squad. They become strength in depth and stuff like that. So I think, it's look. At the end of the day, there are positives. And look, against Chelsea, we've just got to be very careful. Hopefully, we can address our issues at the back. There is a few tweaks here and there. We're not definitely the finished article. If it was up to me, I wish we could have had maybe a few more games of like good levels to really challenge us. And that's it.
Chelsea are apparently just about to buy Tyler Adams, apparently.
Yeah, but he's the guy we should have been raving about him for God knows how long. Watch him cook next season.
20 million. I think Chelsea are about to go for him for, if they can't get
Caicedo,
because they want Caicedo, but then they want the goalkeeper as well. And Brighton, you can't have everyone. Poor Brighton.
I can't believe the Brentford goalkeeper's going to play second fiddle at Arsenal. That's
he's going to take Ramsdale. He's better goalkeeper than Ramsdale.
I don't rate Ramsdale.
He's going to challenge Ramsdale for sure.
He's the reason why they lost the league for me.
Well, I said it to Arsenal fans. If Arsenal want to win the league, they're going to have a better goalkeeper than Ramsdale.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. Apparently, Arsenal are getting Kudus as well. Apparently, that is going around today as well. They get Kudus as well. We should take their transfer spending, the 300 million this summer, and 500 million since the last summer.
Boy,
So,
a performer. They're spending a lot of money. Arteta's under serious pressure.
yeah, he's gonna have to win, Saint. There's no doubt.
It's funny that when you got a manager who asks for money.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Well, you just got to buy players, but I just want to see us get Lavia in. Look, us as a football fan, as Liverpool fans as well, I don't think we're asking for like 300 million transfer summons every year. I don't think that's what we're asking for. We're just asking to get the players that we need to fill in the gaps in our team. You know, if Lavia is available, we've known for a while now that we're going to have to overpay for him. We're going to have to overpay for him. It's as simple as that, because what we've done to ourselves, like we need a defensive midfielder. You're going to have to overpay. Just pay the money for Lavia, get him in. Let's stop messing around with a £38 million bill, and then a £39 million bid, and then just pay the we've obviously got the money, or we wouldn't be bidding. So just pay the money that they want and get him in. Yeah, you're overpaying, and you don't like to overpay. I understand it. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Go and get the player. If Klopp really likes Lavia and he really rates him and thinks he could do something with him, go and get him the player. Just go and get him it.
They've just lost Gabriel Jesus, haven't they? For injury.
Yeah, he's going to be out for the first 6 weeks of the season, I reckon.
They'll probably try and get Mbappe on loan now.
Do you know something? Sorry. You know what I mentioned earlier on about Gravendal, yeah? 77.6 million.
Woo!
That is what Man City are closing in on, apparently. 77.6 million for a 20-year-old or 21-year-old. That you try and tell me Liverpool can't compete with that?
Yeah.
We spent 86 on Nunez.
It's just, I think sometimes we buy players that we don't quite need and neglect positions that we do need.
Said that a long time ago.
I think we do that sometimes, and then it messes up like this. But look, Ben Doak. Before we leave here, guys, Ben Doak, I thought again could have had an assist today. The way he was running past,
could have set 2
Bayern Munich players. The way he's just riding past Bayern Munich players. He's
quality.
His kid's special. He's going to be a super talent. I wouldn't loan him out. I'd keep him at the football club. Definitely. He's got a future. I think Klopp looks like he loves him. And I think he's going to play a lot of football. And the one thing before I want to leave, because I mentioned this earlier, and people might think, Jamie, you're absolutely nuts. I actually think Harvey Elliott's been all right this pre-season when he's come on. I actually thought Harvey Elliott was all right today as well.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
He was all right in the other game as well.
Yeah, he can play that role.
But because because it's Harvey Elliott, I think he just gets, it's Harvey Elliott is shit. But I actually think Harvey Elliott's done all right. I actually think Harvey Elliott's done better than Szoboszlai this pre-season. There you go. Shoot me down. I actually think Elliott's done better than Szoboszlai this pre-season. Not that he's a better player. Szoboszlai's going to be a far better player and have a better career. We know this. But I think Elliott's done all right this pre-season. I thought he was all right. Today. He doesn't have to start games. But if he comes on in games, he's got something about him. He's not bad.
The thing is, Jamie, because remember, him and obviously Curtis Jones have been playing throughout the summer as well. The momentum's there, and he was brilliant today. Definitely, he was brilliant today. But once he starts like dropping off, and hopefully he doesn't, you know what I mean. Yeah. But when he doesn't get the games or he comes off here and there, the start kind of thing, that's where you worry.
Yeah, definitely.
Think about him today. Is I got mixed up with him and Bobby Clark because they both got like blonde streaks, and they're quite short. And like I got mixed up with like, is he about to score? And it was Bobby Clark. It wasn't Elliott, because they were both on the pitch at the same time in the second half.
Do you know?
They look like each other.
I saw a stat today. I think Szoboszlai made more fouls in his defensive third than he made passes in the final.
He was brilliant today. We could have been roasted like if it wasn't for him and McAllister just fouling players.
He made more fouls in our defensive third today, getting back and defending, than he did passing balls in the attacking final third.
That's just ridiculous.
And that's not what we really signed him to do. That's the problem. We signed him to do
Bayern Munich.
We signed him to do everything in the final third, you know. But yeah, that was a mad stat I saw today. I think Szoboszlai's going to be quality. He's going to be quality.
Let's just put this out there. Yeah. Do you think when Dominik Szoboszlai played Bayern Munich when he played for Leipzig, he did that?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Big up, Jack. Thank you very much, my man.
He did not do that when he played against Bayern Munich for Leipzig. He played in his natural position.
Yeah, I love Szoboszlai. I just think if you let Szoboszlai play where he's meant to play, in that more of attacking third, of course he's got to do some defending because he's a midfielder. We understand that. But I don't want him consistently running back and having to cover that right back spot like Hendo used to do. That's what Hendo was known for, getting back and covering Trent to get Trent forward. I don't think any of us, you guys in the chat as well, want Szoboszlai to do that job. We want him to be that creative attacking outlet from midfield. Yes, we know he's going to have to defend occasionally because he's a midfielder, but we don't want him doing what Henderson used to do we? It's as simple as that. We want Szoboszlai to be the Szoboszlai we bought and got excited for. That's what I want to see. I don't want him defending too much. You know, I don't want him defending too much. I think you guys in the chat will probably agree with that. You know, he's a good presser of the ball. That's why we bought him from Leipzig, Szoboszlai. But I want him to do his pressing further up the field. You know, I want him pressing further up the field, winning the ball in the danger areas, you know, and doing what we bought him for. I don't want him sitting back and, you know, just covering Trent. Yeah. Okay. I would look at it. Don't worry. K-Mac. You can have both. Yeah, definitely.
K-Mac, I've done that.
Okay, cool.
What happened? I didn't see. What happened?
Yeah, no, it's just a few little name callings and stuff like that, which we won't tolerate on here. We've got to be respectful, guys, in the chat, which most of you are, but you know.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. I've got my supporters anyway. I can see them in the chat. Big up everyone.
Oh, I see. Sorry about that. I don't see everything in the chat.
I think my comment was quite relevant. Like, I don't think Dominik Szoboszlai did all the defending against Bayern Munich for Leipzig.
Yeah.
He probably scored a few goals.
Yeah.
That was the point. That's a good point. Kone's still available.
Yeah, he is, ain't he? Turam's still available as well.
Do you remember him?
Do you think those guys will want to come to Liverpool now?
Yeah, what McAllister and Szoboszlai do 50Ks every game.
Yeah, guys, look, let's keep it clean in the chat. Yeah, there might be views you don't agree with any of the people on the panel with, and that's cool, man. It's cool. I understand we're all a bit vexed, you know, because we're Liverpool fans. It's with the nature. I get it. But yeah, if you don't agree with someone's opinion on the panel, just say you don't agree and move on. Okay, we don't have to be, you know, rude or anything like that, guys. Yeah, big up to everyone. Though. I do appreciate all here, but just respect everyone on the panel. That's all I'm asking, guys. Look, we're gonna leave it there. Enjoy the rest of your evening, whatever you're doing. It's coming to midnight. My birthday's almost like my birthday is over. It's gone midnight. My birthday's over. It's finished. Right.
We're rough with Jamie now. You know, we can give him trouble now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, guys. You guys get upset while JW gets.
Uncle Albert. Do you want me to ban you as well?
Oh, that's quality, Albert.
Right, guys, don't forget to go and smash the like button on the replay. Anything you want to ask me in the comments after this video, anything you disagree or agree with, whatever you want to talk about, make sure you get it in the comments below after this video. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much.
Guys, if you like the panel as well, me and Baz, please subscribe to our channels. And
yeah, guys, make sure you do.
To us as well.
Make sure mods put the links in the chat. Yeah, go and subscribe and support Baz and K-Mac. That would be beautiful. Guys, I will be back. What is the day? I won't be back till I'm not available tomorrow. I should be back Friday. Friday, I'll probably be doing a call-in show. So make sure you join us Friday for a call-in show. Till then, guys, big up. Much love. See you soon.
Big
Bye-bye.
up, everyone.